Welcome, Demrala, to today's Sabassembler Collector's Roar. And everyone knows why we're here today. It's for the debate of the new XM Studios Venom Arise. And I know I promised two other people to join in. They haven't arrived yet, but we still have H Stats here from H Stat Collectibles. And thanks for joining in, H.
Always a pleasure.
Oh, sure. Like, always love these debates, and because it's nice to hear other people's opinions about these. And if you don't know who H is, please do check out his channel for H Stats Collectibles. And if you haven't already subscribed to it, please do so. And if you're new to my channel, and please don't forget to the like button. Don't forget to subscribe too. We really appreciate that. So I already said, like, we're here for the new XM Studios Venom Arise statue, and maybe maybe we'll just wait a few moments and wait for the other guys. Is that okay with you? And we'll just I'll just maybe just add some pictures here of the statue we're just talking about. And what are your first opinions about this, H? And for me, I just love the statue. Like, that's my personal opinion. And yours?
Yeah, so I'm still, that's why I'm glad you invited me to the show because I'm still a little indecisive. So that's why
Okay.
I was hoping, we can have this conversation today. But like when you first saw this scope, I mean, was it just because of the character? Like what captivated you to go? Because I know you already PO'd it. So like
Yeah.
what captivated you to just put in a PO right away?
First of all, I've already like been collecting. Like, I love the whole XM Studios Spider-Man line, their whole Sinister Six line. I love that, and up to now I have pretty much every single character. I have. You can see maybe right behind me. You can see the Rhino, and you can see Carnage next to him. And I don't know, up here you can see the Spider-Man, and behind, like, on top of me, above
Yeah.
me, and I just love those statues, and I'm a fan of Spider-Man. He's not my most favorite character in from comic characters, but he's like one of my top ones. And I've had like already statues from all like the main villains. You have like Green Goblin, you have Doc Ock, Carnage, and so on. And Venom was actually the only character I didn't have a statue from up to now.
Yeah.
And I was before, like, XM had another Venom before, and we all know that. And I don't know, maybe I'll just, if I can, I'll just bring out another picture of the previous Venom.
Yeah.
We'll just
And I guess at that time when I saw that Venom, I didn't know how to go about buying XM statues, so that's why I
uh,
missed out on it.
yeah, I mean, that time exactly. I'm the same position as you there. That time I wasn't really into XM Studios. I didn't know too much about it, and I wasn't like, I think it came out like for me a wrong time, came maybe too early for me, and I didn't get the chance to order it then.
Hmm.
And it was already out before I really could get the chance to get it. And but I loved it, and I tried to get it that time.
Hmm.
Where is? I'm sorry.
Okay.
Just sorry if just give me a few seconds, and um, or I'll just we'll just check in here for Venom. I mean, I like. How did you like the previous Venom from XM Studios? Did you like it?
Yeah, I thought it was a great piece, um, but by the time I saw that, it was kind of like too late to
Yeah.
order it. It was already
Um,
gone, and
yeah. Here we go. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Go ahead.
and then you
No,
know
go.
that the aftermarket, it's just forget about it.
Yeah, it's just crazy the prices. And yeah, well, this is the XM, the previous, like XM's first Venom. And when I saw this, I loved it actually. I was looking for a chance to purchase it that time,
Hmm.
but unfortunately, like just like you, was sold out. And honestly, I'm personally not a big fan of purchasing things on the aftermarket and buying things secondhand or so.
Hmm.
I don't know. It's just something in me. And you hear, but for me, there was a lot of like criticism about this piece. Some people didn't like it,
Hmm.
so or they didn't like these symbiotes like this on the bottom. But I, generally speaking, I loved the portraits on this one,
Hmm.
and the body, everything. In my opinion, was really nice. And but there was another one um, that came out after this one. That was the Prime One Venom.
Right.
Uh, that was this one here.
Right. I missed that
And
one as well.
yeah, when I saw this, I was really. I think they came out maybe a similar time,
Mhm.
and I was really like looking for a way to purchase this one, and I loved this Venom. I thought this was that time, and I even today I still think it was one of the best Venoms like out there,
Hmm.
and because I love I mean the whole sculpt, the base. I mean it's such a dynamic pose. I think in my eyes,
Hmm.
and I don't know, and it came out especially like I love this portrait here with the long tongue like sticking out, and
Yeah,
you
that
had all the
saliva.
saliva. Like I think that I mean, especially this portrait is what
Mhm.
really caught me that time, and even today. And I was really sad I couldn't get it,
Yeah.
and but I thought it was beautiful, and it came out, and I think that was an exclusive, and the exclusive was the one with the Farland McFarlane portrait. If
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken, like, we'll just yeah, it was with
That's the
this
one.
portrait. Yeah, that was the yeah, I think that was the exclusive version. And I mean, it's not everyone's cup of cake, maybe this portrait, but some people like it, some don't. I think it's nice, but I'll be honest, like I wouldn't personally. I don't think I would display my display my Venom with this portrait. I prefer the the portraits with the tongue sticking out, and so.
Mhm.
How do you
So,
think about it?
so now, but didn't XM previously have the Eddie Brock transformation Venom? Because I know they had one like that as well.
You mean the portrait or?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
this isn't the first Eddie Brock. The
Yeah.
yeah, this isn't the first one.
No,
So
no, there
that's
was. Yeah,
mhm.
go ahead. Go,
so
sorry.
so that's what really got my attention. And then of course, we got the with the tongue exposure with the green drool, which is based off comic book. And then it seemed like all the three head portraits,
Yeah,
they all have a concept of artists that some of us are that we know. Like for example, that one, I was guessing this might be based off Eric Larson. The other one, that one is Eric Larson, and then the other portrait with his I can say that's kind of like Todd McFarlane. But then,
like
yeah,
this
yeah,
one. Yeah,
yeah. So I can definitely dig that. Um, but now I'm looking. If you see like his shoulder right here, there's some like blues, and it looks like this
yeah. Here,
Venom, yeah, it's totally overwhelmed by the symbiote, which is like a dark black, a color. And I don't know if it's over exaggerated because for some of the comments that I've been receiving is that that pose is kind of like an Iron Man like pose, right
this
there.
way.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But it's and then with me, I guess I'm looking for like a signature Venom, that one that I'm gonna buy. And if I ever decide to get rid of it, it will be like maybe years from now. Because I previously owned the sideshow Venom, and when it arrived, at first it was a wow factor, but like maybe after a few
Maybe we'll
weeks,
go to the sideshow website.
yeah, let's
Which
it's an old one. Let me see if I can bring it up.
Oh, it's the one with the. I know what you're talking about. It's the one where he's like standing on his arm, like
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
yeah. I see what you mean. Maybe they still have it here. It's probably an archive piece by now, isn't
It probably yeah, it's definitely an archive piece.
it? Yeah, we probably gotta go to archive to find that. But I think I know what you're talking about.
And I remember at the time from the prototype pictures, it appeared that it was like dark black, but it wasn't. When it came, it was like a dark blue.
Yeah, sometimes that doesn't come out on the pictures.
Yeah, you
The blue
probably
cut.
you probably
I
could
don't.
Google it; it will come up faster.
Yeah, I'll try it. Wait a second. What was it? Sideshow was it? Yeah, Sideshow was it premium format? Was it a?
It was a premium format.
Okay. Then, sorry. Let's see.
Yeah,
It
that's
was
the one
this
right there.
one. It was
Yeah,
this
that's
one, I think.
hmm
Yeah, it's this one.
yeah.
Yeah. It looks pretty nice actually, but I don't know. It's not, as I said, like it's not my cup of cake.
Yeah.
But
In person,
suppose.
it didn't really look like this at all. You see,
Mm,
you kind of like it looks like it's a dark black, but in person it was like more like a deep blue. And
mm.
then at that time, before I even started YouTubing, people were saying he kind of looks like a gorilla. So yeah, and then I started visualizing that. So I said, yeah, I see it now. you know, so it's just yeah,
I see. Yeah. Okay. But I mean, it's not as you said. Like it's not a bad statue, but I mean, a lot of people have been complaining about the texture on the skin on the XM one, on the
yeah,
XM XM. But for me, like I think the sideshow one we were just looking at has a similar kind of texture.
yeah. So
But
I don't know if XM gonna go back and do some changes. I'm not sure.
uh, does that disturb you? The texture on the XM statue?
Yeah, because it just seems like you see where his I guess that would be his left arm where he's coming down on one of the angels. It looks kind of sloppy. If it's supposed to be
Slap?
like a symbiote effect, it looks a little bit exaggerated. Like it's just too much going on there where I don't see too
I,
much of the character
for me,
unless
I'll be honest.
mhm.
Go ahead. I'll go ahead.
Unless it's I guess it's because that's why I was thinking is this supposed to be like a more like transformation where the symbiote is so live and animated that that effect they're trying to give us that whole effect
Uh,
so but I still don't see maybe it's bad picturing because we know that sometimes when we see prototype pictures they usually don't justify the final stage of the statue but but then I'm sorry and then I watched their video on the prototype and I still saw the same thing
yeah,
so
I'll be honest with you. Like for me, it doesn't disturb me. Actually, I think it's perfectly fine. That texture thing, that texturing,
mhm.
doesn't disturb me. Honestly, I think it's fine because I think it goes with the character, in my opinion. Because I mean, Venom is like he's just a crazy character, and you have all the symbiotes just going around all around the way, and when we're coming back just quickly, I mean the skin texture, like as you can see on this Venom, it's not pure black. You have these blue tones, as you can see here nicely. You have these blue tones, like every this shadings all over the skin, and I think that's fine. But I'll, um some people don't like the blue kind of colored Venom.
Mhm.
Um, for me, it's fine. Like as long as it's not over exaggerated. For me, Venom still has to remain perfectly black, but there's a little bit blue shadings, and I think it's still within the boundaries for me. At least I can only speak from the pictures, just like everyone else at the moment. And you can see, and this texturing of the skin, I think that's fine with me because because I think it's kind of telling a story. I mean, I mean, it's Venom, and you have you could see like the symbiotes are still like that. They're just moving all the time, and even if he's standing still, like it's still going around all over his body. And then again, you have these more like shiny parts. They look a little bit like, I should say, a bit like veins, maybe. I don't know if you can get another better close up. Maybe here, yeah, you can see the, I think, better here. But you can, especially on the right arm, you can see, and they go around like all over the body. And I think that's fine with me. I mean, I think, generally speaking, for me, this is, I think, compared to the previous Venom, like XM brought out, I think this one is definitely much better. Don't, how's your opinion to that?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Um,
Es-
I'm thinking
Especially,
because I'm guessing this because it's a prototype. You know,
yeah, it is a
uh,
prototype, of course.
depending you know, is it, I guess I'm looking for like one of the best Venom scopes ever created, because like, once this come out, we have it, maybe a few months down the line, we're gonna see another Venom. Like, for example, we have the legendary Beast Venom coming out. So
Yeah, talking about that, I'll just maybe just bring out a picture of that. I
yeah,
think there were these teasers about that,
yeah, yeah. Look at this one.
and and this one, like talking about legendary beasts, like I mean, do you own any statues from them?
No, the
The
I plan on
legendary
no,
this,
no.
like I'll be honest, like for me, I mean, a lot of people love these legendary beast statues, and for me, like this was like teaser for the, like for the Venom they're bringing out. I'm personally not a big fan of legendary beasts because I mean their statues. I'm sure they're high quality, they're detailed, but like all their characters, they're, what disturbs me mainly is this museum pose like all those statues have.
Yeah,
When I buy a statue, it has to be more. I love these dynamic poses, and I like the when. I mean, the statue or the character has to be in a scene for me. Like you have to have the scenery, like telling a story,
mhm.
and but with these legendary beasts, like I really love this one here. Like I when I saw this, like I don't, you can see this portrait here, like from legendary beasts. How do you
Mhm.
like this one where you can see Eddie Brock with the Venom next to him? Like
Right.
I think that's like one of the best ways. Like I think they brought out, like, of course these are just like 3D sculpts. I mean, just like digital sculpts, and it looks pretty interesting. And like here on the back, you have, I think they're like different versions of Venom. Like maybe this is anti Venom,
Mhm.
Venom, and
Got Scream,
what is it? Yeah, it's their Carnage. I think maybe one of these. Maybe I'm not sure.
Poison. Yep.
Yeah, it looks pretty nice. I'll be honest. But I mean, the shame with these things on the back is like, for most people, probably you're never going to see them because they're probably going to be hidden in the display or so.
Right, and that's another thing too, because if you're gonna display this, I mean, you gotta have like some kind of rotating kind of display stand where you can get like a 360 view.
Yeah, like this 360. Maybe if you had a, as you said, like a 360 display with just like where you can look at it from all around, or if you just had maybe maybe a turntable that would just automatically be turning all the time or so.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, I don't. I think only very few people can afford the electricity for that. Yeah, I mean, having that all the time or so. But it's pretty nice. But as I said, like Legendary Beast for me, it's not for me. Just simply, as I said, like the main reason for me is the fact that they all have, mainly they're just standing there and they have this museum pose style,
Hmm.
and the bases they're mostly. I mean, the details on the bases are usually very nice. They're high quality, and but I'm missing this scene like you have with the, yeah, like you're having here with the XM one. You can tell like he's like jumping off. Maybe I don't know if this is maybe like a part of a, maybe a church roof or something. You have these angels.
Hmm.
I don't know. That's my theory. Like maybe it's. It reminds me a little bit of the Carnage, and you can see it next to me here.
Yes.
You can see he's like this. It has a similar pose.
Mhm.
Let me just like. Let's just. All right, let's just a second. Let's just. Yeah, I think it has a similar pose, like maybe where he's just standing on the rooftop,
Mm-hmm.
and like he's on the rooftop or on the tower of this church,
Right.
and I think it has a similar style, just like the new Venom.
Yeah.
And only the difference is that here for the XM, they're just using instead of just a simple tower, they're just using this angel.
Now, would you say that the XM Venom will pair up nicely with the sideshow upcoming Carnage piece?
Sure, yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think it would. I don't
Yeah.
see a reason why it shouldn't. I don't see. Do you think it
Because,
would?
well, I because, I passed on the Martin Canale version, you know, because like I think this one is just more hardcore, you know,
Yeah, of
more of a
course.
hardcore Venom. It looks very sadistic, and then you also have like some, in my opinion, Easter eggs of comic book concepts. Martin Canale as well. I mean, I guess they captivate some comic book concepts, but
Like
this
what? Like
like because someone pointed out to me that the Martin Canale elongated Venom jaw is based off Eric Lawson Venom.
okay,
So I missed that one, because I guess I always, for some reason, reading comic books, I always seen Venom in this aspect more like a Todd McFarlane, like more modern day Venom. So that kind of like went over my head. So I appreciate uh, that commenter that brought that to light. So I guess for me, like overall, if I had to make a choice, it would definitely be the XM. But I just wanted others' opinions because like now, we're collectors. You want something that's going to stand out, and
for
this is
sure.
this is a quarter scale, but it's 33 inches high. So sometimes I say to myself, how do they get away with that? Because would you consider this like to be a 1/3 if it's the height on this is that
I think the
small?
issue in like I think the issue on this one is the base. Like I mean the base is already like I mean if you can see here it's like already goes almost halfway like to the like goes like halfway like through the whole statue and like the peak and let's see where his feet are like his legs are like I think the legs are already standing on the statue like pretty high up and like the basis I think it lifts the whole character already up like
Mm-hmm.
at least 1/3 of the whole statue
Mm-hmm.
is it's just see like the other because it has a high it has a high position. I think he gains a high position just by the base in this statue,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what I think. That's one reason um, maybe it's a big statue, but I honestly I love big statues. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, me
I
too.
don't. For me, I mean that would be. I'm sure this would be a real eye catcher for
Mm-hmm.
people coming into your house.
Yeah,
And what's your like talking about the portraits? Like, what's your favorite portrait on this one?
it's definitely the Eddie Brock transformation.
The transformation.
Oh man, it's to me it's a masterpiece.
Yeah, it is. It does look really nice.
You know? and
I
that's
can.
and that's where I'm like just I didn't push the button yet, but I was like I gotta hear more opinions, you know, because like I just want to. My thing is like I always worry about you buy a piece and then someone comes and just knock this piece out the box. Now I was like, oh man, now I got to get rid of this and go for the best one, and that's why I think I waited so long to push the button on specific characters. I see a lot of like, for example, like let's say Captain America, Thor. Those are pieces that I still to this day do not own because I have not found, in my opinion, a Thor or Captain America piece that I'm impressed by. Just haven't,
Mhm.
you know. everyone imaginations and the way we visualize these characters is different. So this one I can say I'm 70% in, but is it still what I imagine Venom to be? It's still yes and no, and then the FOMO is bothering me. you know,
Sorry, what was bothering you?
the FOMO, fear of missing out.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. For me personally, I like this portrait here with the slime.
Mhm.
The only thing that I don't know if it's from the picture, maybe in person it looks different.
Yeah.
Like I love the fact like when the I love like Venom, like the character when he has the tongue sticking out and just like looking out, like just like on the here on the Prime One statue.
Mhm.
Like you have these pictures here where here just right here when you have the long tongue just sticking out, and that's Venom for me. Honestly, I think that's one thing that makes him out
Yeah.
as a character, and I love that portrait. And here, I think sometimes I think maybe it's from the angle the tongue looks a little bit short. I don't know if that's
Yeah, it does. It does look a little short.
it looks a little short to me. If it was a little bit longer, I think it might have looked cool. Like, do you like the contrast? Like, of the do you like the green slime concept, or would
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
have preferred?
No, but I appreciate the green Drew. I appreciate it because I've seen it before, so that's not a first time concept that I'm not familiar with. So it's fine, you know.
Yeah, I think it does pop out a lot when you look at it, and when you
Yeah,
look at the green slime, this portrait, I think with the green drool, like the contrast, like takes your attention to the portrait, and
it's more. I think
initially,
it gives it a more sickening effect, you know. And I think
yeah,
that's the whole intent. Like this character is, he's a beast, he's a monster. It's like almost
yeah,
as if he's so overly possessed by that symbiote, you know. And then even when you go to the Eddie Brock portrait, I mean, the guy has like white pupils. I mean, you can't even see his pupils. I mean, he just looked totally sinister, and like, I mean, it's like, geez, it's horrifying if you look at it. It's like you wouldn't want to be around if you saw that. you
yeah.
know?
I mean, especially the teeth, like at the bottom of the teeth. Look at the size of the teeth.
Yeah,
I mean, they just, I mean, they're bigger than on the other portrait. They're just huge,
yeah, yeah.
and you can really tell the transformation. Like he's just, as you said, like it looks more like, as you said, like Arise. I mean, the name of the statue is like Venom Arise. I
Mhm.
mean, it looks like it's like how Venom just, I think he just takes over. It's like the first time he takes over Eddie Brock.
Yeah,
I mean, that's my interpretation of that name,
totally possessed by that symbiote.
and it's just like Eddie Brock still hasn't got used to Venom. For him, it's the first time. Maybe here he's still trying to fight Venom, not trying to be possessed, or but obviously he's lost here and he's lost control of himself, and Venom has totally taken over his body.
Yeah, totally agree.
And but still, as you just like with you, I can imagine using the switch outs for this statue quite a lot.
Which
Or
one would you display it with first? Like, let's say day one, you get it, you unbox it. What would be your display portrait?
I think it will have to be this one, the classic kind of Venom look. I
Yeah.
still like that. I think first time it would be this.
Mhm.
As I said, like the only thing it seemed to me was that the tongue is a little bit short. I would have appreciated to be a little bit longer,
Mhm.
but it might be an issue with the angle of the picture. Maybe in real life it's longer or it seems longer. I don't know. I can't judge that, but just speaking from the pictures, it seems a little short to me.
So, I mean, would you, if there were any changes that you wanted XM to, I guess, go back and change, what would it be?
It would be the tongue, like maybe if they could make it a little longer.
Mhm.
Um, Otherwise, I mean, it's not a big thing for me, like this blue shading. but I mean, like just like on the, I think on the first Venom, you didn't have the blue shading. It was, as you can see here, it was pure
Completely
black.
black. Yeah.
And maybe I would have preferred the pure, like a pure black shading,
Hmm.
because like on the here on the Prime One Venom, you also didn't have that.
Right, and that's where I was trying to figure out where's the storytelling on this one because when Venom first appeared, he had like more like a blue custom, but
True.
I don't. I mean, I don't. I don't recall a time where he was already Venom. He was already possessed by the symbiote. It was just later where you had more of a darker kind of symbiote. So is this another type of symbiote that made him into a more darker version of Venom? I mean, I don't know, but or did they just leave the, uh, 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 the blue highlights as a, I guess, nostalgic way of customizing this particular Venom? That's
I
just
don't
my
know.
opinion.
It might be maybe a generation thing, but I think when you go back to older like comic books, like Venom, he's not black. I think he's more like blue. He has this blue. When you look on like Venom, like comic, let's just comic pictures, or like
So yeah,
you can see like here, like sometimes you have these older pictures where he has this
yeah,
blue shadings, and he's not completely black here.
right.
And um, as I said, like I prefer the pure black version.
Mhm.
Some people may like the blue version, but it's not for me. But since for I mean for on this statue here, I think it's from distance maybe it doesn't, the blue color doesn't seem to pop out as much. I think it's still within the, I think the ratio is still fine. I mean, generally speaking, it still looks like a black Venom.
Mhm.
The blue color seems more like a maybe lighter shadings on from the coming from the light or so. But um, so like as I said, like for me, it's still within boundaries, so it's still okay. But generally speaking, I love the pose on this statue, and you can see all these his other symbiotes, like they're just like going around all over the place. Does that disturb you, or like you having all these symbiotes all around? Some people didn't like that. They say it's too much. They say there's too much going on. For
I
me,
was
it's okay. Like,
yeah, I was just more concerned about you know breakage, you know. But then again, I've never had a XM statue that has been that you know fragile. So that was only my main concern. And space wise, those symbiotes might make it a little bit harder to display.
that's
Because
true.
it's so. I mean, if you go from front to back, you want to make sure you can see everything from your point of view wherever you display it in your home. So that was just my concern. Will I be able to see all of this particular statue?
But it seems like when you go on the pictures, it seems like you can display him without these. Like you
Hmm.
can. Where are these pictures? XM had some pictures where he's displayed without them.
Yeah, yeah.
So it
A
seems
more
like
clear.
you can have him displayed without these, and it
Mm,
looks like here you can,
yeah.
or there's still one there, like, and like I mean XM, like here
Yeah.
you can see him purely without.
And for some reason, this one looks better in comparison to displaying it with all those symbiotes, tentacles. You know, I
I
like this
assume
better.
I assume you could also, I mean, choose how many symbiotes you want to display with. Maybe there's one you don't want displayed. I assume probably XM has some other parts you stick in to hide the places you the connection parts.
Yeah.
So you could, I guess, maybe display one symbiote and leave the other two away. I think they were in total they were three, or were they four? Like I think one, two. We have three of them. Yeah.
Mhm.
Maybe you could leave away. Maybe I don't know the one on the very outside here. Because it makes the statue I think pretty wide. It makes it a huge piece,
Yeah.
and that's maybe an issue for some people because I mean it is already a huge statue. Like where right here, like you can see the measurements here. Like I mean, it's the height is already like 86 centimeters. That's a very big statue. It's your. Some people may even need a custom display for that. I don't know.
Even
And
the weight is my goodness.
yeah, I mean the depth is like 70 centimeters. I mean
Mhm.
that's I think
Like
a
20.
regular Moji case like Max already has is already 70 centimeters.
Mhm.
Maybe like depending on how you angle it, you might be able to fit into a Moji case.
Yeah.
And the width 56 centimeters. Like I mean that's already quite a decent size
Yeah.
for a statue. And maybe if you, as you said, like if you leave away some of these symbiotes, it would definitely make it much smaller in terms of width. And but I mean I think this is a statue that would deserve maybe its own display case without any other statue next to him.
I look at this one as definitely pairing up because I still love my sideshow Venom bus. So I have this visualized as pairing up with the that Venom bus and the Daniel Bell Carnage. And I think that's just I mean I don't how I collect. If I love the statue, it doesn't really matter. Oh, Daniel Bell Carnage. One second. And I think that's
No.
just yeah. I don't you know if I love the statue, it doesn't really matter where company it comes from. So that's usually how I collect.
Okay. I mean, here we have. I mean, just looking at quickly at the comments here. It's like we have Luke in the house and Malcolm and McFarlane portrait. He says here is amazing McFarlane portrait and Deflex and I mean, like they're all awesome portraits here and. Um, Luke says that transformation portrait is the winner. Like it seems like he's on your side here on this one.
Mhm.
He definitely loves that portrait, and I definitely totally agree with that. I mean, it's a great. And we have Dennis in the house. Thanks for joining in, Dennis.
What's up, Dennis?
And send me the link. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I sent you there. Sorry for the delay, but yeah, and Luke says I can remove them on the old one too, and that's how I displayed mine. But yeah, on the old one, but like on the old one, I think for me, I think you would have to display it with the symbiotes. I think without the symbiotes on the old Venom, he seemed a little bit empty. I think the whole statue, because the base wasn't so big, I think it was a relatively small base. I think for XM, like here on the previous one, I think it's the base seemed kind of empty for me.
Yeah, I agree.
It's more like you just have one Venom just standing there out almost. And okay, and oh, look who we have here,
Dennis,
Dennis.
He
Nice
says,
to have you.
Saba,
In the...
hi
Hi,
there.
mm,
how's everything?
Good to see you. Good to see you made it just in time.
Yeah, yeah, everything okay? Everything good? Nice to have you.
Everything good. Thank you. Thank you.
That's great. So here we have another person. Maybe we have more opinions about the new Venom here. What's your opinion about the new Venom, Dennis?
I mean, the new Venom looks nice, but you gotta see it as like a companion piece, the bigger picture. If you see, it looks like in a pose for the XM Carnage,
Yeah.
and Yeah, it looks very nice, and I give it all the merits. But I see it very busy. So if you have to show it, like Ashats was saying, you won't show everything that it has. So either have that as a standalone with a lazy Susan, or choose how to put it in an action pose with French, but from XM.
Okay, that's cool. I mean, like for me, like personally for me, like I was just trying to complete the whole kind of
It
whole
looked
like
nice.
Spider-Man collection, like trying to get a statue from all the villains. As I said,
Yep.
like Venom is the only character I don't have a statue from yet, and he's pretty much the only one main character villain I'm still missing, and that's one big reason this was a must-have for me since I missed out on the first XM Venom and the Prime One Venom. And I mean, there have been a few like sideshow Venoms, but they just didn't do it for me. I didn't really like. They didn't impress me a lot. I didn't like, or like there. I think there was the new Venom from Sideshow, for example.
Yeah,
Yes.
Uh,
from done by Canale.
Yeah. Look at that one.
yeah, oh, look at that. Where was? I'm sorry, I think the wrong page. Uh, was this one here? Like,
Yeah, that one,
Yeah.
the middle
yeah,
one. Yeah.
yeah, this one here.
Yep.
Like for me, honestly, like when I see the XM Venom and I see this, I think this one's a joke for me. Like, I'll be honest. Like, don't take it as an insult, but I think. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad statue. I mean, the details look pretty cool on this one, but I think this one's just. I think it doesn't. It's. I think it's on a different level when you compare it to the XM one.
Yeah, but it all depends on the artist. Canale always sculpts his villains or heroes very muscular, very bulky, and that's not Venom. Because if you see the Easter eggs, he's coming out of Oscorp, so I don't know if he has the Eddie Brock inside of him yet.
Mhm.
Okay.
And then you also have, you see, with this one too, you got some Easter eggs. I don't know if that's the Hobgoblin or Green Goblin
Green Goblin,
hovercraft. What's
Green
the Green?
Goblin, yeah,
Yeah, and then you have that base. You got some Easter eggs there with the Oscorp.
Oscorp, yeah.
So is that comic related, or is it just I guess something to give you that nostalgia of
It's
the
Easter egg, not
Easter
comic.
egg? Okay,
Well, is it the that's supposed to be the glider of the
the
Yep,
Green Goblin.
the Green
the
Goblin,
glider?
yeah.
Mhm.
That's
And,
all more significant that it's Harry Osborn, but you know,
Mhm.
and you have the. I mean, he has like the mask of Spider-Man holding it in the hand. That's a cool idea. I like that. I like
Yeah.
the
but
idea of that.
as you see it, it's not a standalone piece. It's a companion piece because it goes with the Carnage and the symbiote Spider-Man. You can even see some pictures in the Sideshow website. So it all depends if you want a standalone or you want a companion piece. Let's say the old Comiket Sideshow did. It was part of a series of dioramas done by Olivetti, but you can use that Carnage as a standalone.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
That Venom too.
But
What
Dennis,
what I so
mhm.
yeah, go ahead.
Let me ask you, Dennis. Let's say that XM Venom. Would you think it would be a? I mean, because I collect a little different. Would you think it would be cool if you paired the XM Venom with the Daniel Bell Carnage and what else goes? And and that I can't get their names. The symbiote Spider Man. Would you think that would be a good pair up?
It
Sideshow
look
symbiote Spider Man.
it would look nice, but you have to see the texturing that Action gives him. Because Sideshow, the way Sideshow statues are, the texturing and all the statues, they have something. I can't say it. It's something when you see them that you know it's a Sideshow statue.
Mm.
But the XM is very textured, like Tweethead. Tweethead is very untextured.
Mhm.
So it all depends on how is it going to be presented.
But do you mean like paint wise? Because I'm looking at this picture here. The anatomy of this scope is, I mean, it's superb. I mean, you can see like how the symbiote is fused with Venom.
Yep,
You know,
a bodybuilder. Yeah.
yeah, it's fused. But now with the XM, it just seems like that symbiote is alive. Like I think they're trying to give us a 3D effect where the symbiote is, because if he's transforming, that
Light
symbiote,
creature.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's going to be around the body and moving. This one is more fused. It's not really as live as that XM. So that's why I'm like, okay, it's amazing, but I don't, you know.
But for me, I don't know. Like for me, I'll be honest. Like what I don't like about this, the portrait is one thing that disturbs me on this one here. Like I don't. You can see there's red shadings. I don't understand where that comes from. I think this red shadings on the edges. That's
Yeah.
one thing that disturbs me on this statue.
That looks like
Do you like
lighting.
that? Do you like that? Like I don't like that.
I mean, it looks like lighting. Fans. Remember, all those are pictures. So if you see in the Comic Con videos when it was there, you can see it a little bit more detailed. It
Okay.
wasn't a mother pearl white. It was more of a dirty white in the eyes. So it's pose and lighting.
Yeah, this are portrait. I mean, it's a pre.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, these are not the final production pieces. I assume these are just.
Yep.
Mhm.
And something that one another thing is like the mouth, like the bottom jaw, like it's very enhanced. It like it rages out far to the front, and that's one thing that I don't know. It kind of looks. It
Well,
looks weird to me.
that someone pointed out, on my channel that is based on the Eric Lawson
Yep.
Venom.
Eric
Yeah,
Larson scope. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So that's definitely that's not new because I thought
That's all.
I thought it was an exaggeration, but it's not.
In the beginning, there used to be a lot of Venoms that had the head like that,
Yeah,
round
that
and a big mandible.
extended jaw. Yep.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
and
Okay.
both are comics. Because if you see the XM1, it
Yeah,
has a green thing that's from the comics too, from
yeah.
Bailey.
All
So
from the comics.
it all depends. If you want to complete the line in Sideshow, if you want to complete the line in XM. So I mean, you got there right now choices and a piece for everyone. So
Yeah, and I think with this one is more economical. That's why some will go with the 650.
price point,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
For a price,
Whereas
like, I think the price plays, I think, a big role for a lot of people on this one. I think
yeah,
it's definitely much way cheaper than the XM one.
and then you
I
got to
think.
worry about here in the States. You got to worry about that shipping
Oh yeah,
XM.
sure,
So
Yeah.
that,
definitely, that plays a huge role too. The shipping, and I mean, just if we forget about the shipping and just talking about the price, I think in euros, the Venom is it's around 1,650
Yep.
euros, and the XM one in here, like we have the sideshow, it's 655. I mean euros. I think in dollars, like how much? I mean, since I'm here in Germany, like it shows immediately the euro price, and
Yeah, but right now, look how big it is. Look the silhouette of the person and that venom. So sometimes people think that less is more, and depends on your collection and on the collector.
yeah,
yeah, I mean, like also the size. Like here we have like 58 centimeters
come.
or
Yep.
59.
My daughter
It's
want to say hi. Come on.
I
She's
mean,
barking.
just as the whole. I mean, talking about the statue as a whole,
Say hi.
this will take up way
Okay.
less. Oh wow, what's wrong? Like, let's say hello. Let's say
She
hello.
she she wanted to say hi. So
Oh, no problem. It's nice. I think as a statue as a whole, like this will definitely take. I mean, that's typical sideshow will take up way less space, unlike the XM one. For the XM, you will definitely need a lot of way more space, and maybe some people might even need a. If they want to display it like in a display, they might need a custom display, maybe.
but now
Or
Yeah.
let me ask you a question. If the side sole piece had all these head swipe outs, would you think it would knock out this XM statue?
I don't think so. No,
What
not
about
for
you,
me.
Dennis?
Remember, it's like a piece that you gotta see it, not pictures, because pictures can be either tampered with or photoshopped or whatever. You gotta see it in hand, and sometimes not seeing a video, seeing it with your own eyes, so you really appreciate what the statue is.
That's true. I don't disagree, but at the moment, like we don't really have another choice, and like
No, I
it's a
know, I know.
But
um,
you can go to the video. That XM has a video of this because
Yep,
I went to get a better look, and I still saw the same thing from the pictures.
it's too dark,
Yeah,
and darkness hides imperfection.
yeah,
So it all depends.
yeah,
yeah. But like I mean, generally speaking, I mean, for me, like I love big enhanced bases with things going on. I think for me, always, I think a decent base is already half a good statue for me. I don't know
Yep,
how you see it. I think if you have a beautiful base with a lot of details, it's already makes up for half of the statue. It already makes it a big like eye catcher. Like that's one big thing I think that speaks for the XM statue.
hmm
yep.
Have this beautiful like angel, like maybe it's, as I said before, it was maybe the rooftop of a church or something. You have these angels and you
They
can
all
see,
go for the cathedral theme. Yeah.
yeah, and you have all these details and that already, and you can see the symbiotes just like going all around the angels, and I think that already, and I think that light color, like it pops, they pop out
Yep.
when you see him, like when you have him have this dark venom all around, and you actually maybe even the angel that kind of is like your eyes go first to the angel before they go to venom. Maybe I don't know.
Yep.
it's a
But
very
yeah.
dark Venom. That's why I like it. Very very dark.
Yep.
When
But
you look at
remember, it's something to each his own. I
Yeah,
mean, remember, it's a good time to be a collector, not good time money wise. But we got choices.
yeah,
Either you like this or a sideshow. Let's
yeah,
say for me, XM Prime One Queen can do whatever they want in their statues, and I can appreciate it. But for shipping wise, I'm a sideshow guy.
yeah,
I can't deny it. Maybe if I lived in another place, it'd be easier. I would learn to appreciate different companies in my collection. But it's all right now. The scope is nice, but since everybody's in the hype train for the legendary beast, they're cutting down. So most probably they'll buy money wise instead of scope wise.
yeah.
So
you mentioned the word hype. Do you think this Venom's a hype, or you think it's a, or do you think it is actually an amazing statue?
marketing wise, everything every time they show you like a tease, it's to psychologically create a hype. That's a marketing strategy. Either you show it or you don't. No, let's give you a tease so you can want more and make that wanting grow and grow and grow. So it all depends. Depends on the person and hey, it's a great hey, don't get me wrong, it's a great sculpt and it's a great statue. I'm not putting it down. It's a creation of an artist. I mean, it's his eyes of his creation for us. So, I mean, I won't put it down never because, I mean, maybe you like it and I'm not going to put you down, so I'm not going to put down your collection. Remember, if I say this is trash, hey, am I implying that you don't know how to collect? You don't appreciate art? No, I can't.
Yeah,
It's
I,
all in the eye of the beholder.
yeah, I
yeah,
agree. And
I
mhm,
so, go
the
ahead.
reason
No,
why
I
I
just
agree,
want.
the reason why I agree because it's like I've been collecting for a long time, and then when you've been collecting for a long time, you kind of like get over that. But um, now we're seeing more choices where we can choose and say, well, okay, this is how I want my particular. This is how I visualize a certain character. So
Yep.
now I can hesitate and say, well, am I just experiencing? I might miss this one Because I waited, just like I had the sideshow. Not to digress, I had the sideshow Bane, and then when I saw the Prime one Bane, I said, "Well, this is how I visualize Bane." You know, now we have these choices, so now
Yep.
is a good time to be collecting. But
And
overall,
it's
this is yeah.
yep.
It's just that it's so much that's happening now, especially with shipping. Because I was hoping, I hope there's a day where Sideshow can start picking up XM statues because that would be a huge benefit to us here in the
Definitely.
States.
I mean, like Venom is a character. I think it's almost an overdone character in the world. I mean, in collecting, like almost every other week or so, you have a new Venom,
Yeah.
and like just like Wolverine, you have like just a new
Yeah.
Venom, like all the time,
1,000.
and that's why like sometimes for some people you just have such a huge choice of different Venoms. And look who we have here. We have Buck Fangs in
Buck.
the house. Buck.
Buck, the destroyer of dreams.
Yes, let's get your opinion on this.
Here's one thing I must say. Like one reason I made this show. I'm happy you showed up, Buck.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry
Honestly,
about the
because
lateness.
no, don't worry. Like I must say, like the reason I made this show was like one big reason was like on my last live video during the unboxing of the Captain Marvel from XM Studios. Like Buck was there, and somehow we started talking about the new Venom there, and that whole unboxing kind of transformed into a discussion about about this new Venom. And Buck was on the total anti XM Venom line. Like he seems like he doesn't like it at all, and that's why I really appreciate you showing up because I don't know, like I know for sure, like I already told you like last week, you can't tell me like this is a bad Venom. Like I'm definitely pro this Venom, but just
And
to
remember, yeah,
give us your opinions about it. But
Yeah.
Buck sees things different. He sees him as a sculptor. Uh, H sets, he sees him as a OG collector. You see him as XM that you're like all XM pieces. So it's all different points of views, and that's very good.
yeah, I mean that's why I love these. I love these like discussions. I mean, sometimes you see things other people you didn't even see yourself maybe about it in pictures,
Yep, yep.
and I love different to have all these different opinions. Maybe and we have Cash in the house
Cash
too.
money was good.
The Gemini.
Hi,
Hey
thanks for
man,
joining.
keep the show rolling, man. My bad. I literally thought we started in 2 minutes. Keep the show rolling, man. What's up, everybody?
I thought the same thing. I thought the same thing.
Different time zone. Um, yeah. So, like, what I was gonna say about this is, you know, when you look at it, there's just, I want to, if I feel like I'm gonna start objectively and just explain what I'm seeing on this, and at first glance, the first thing you notice is the portrait because you have all the leading lines. Everything is like pointing towards the head. Can you go towards the previous picture?
Sure.
And
This
if you
one?
see, if you start at the base, see that diagonal from the right corner that's pointing upwards. Like, not there's no actual diagonal. No, there
Oh,
was
sorry,
the
I just pressed the wrong button.
yeah. This is the image. This is the image. And if you start at the base of the statue, there's like an imaginary line. It's pointing you towards the tip of the angel on the left, right? And it's like that's how the sculpture is guiding your eye. And then you see Venom's arm, and your eye starts flowing upwards, and you get to the face. It's like there's lines directing you towards that point.
That's true.
You have the pseudopods that are around him. They're like circling him, and they're letting you know, wait, there's something in the center you're supposed to look at. So the way this is designed, compositionally, it's pointing you everything is pointing you upwards and towards his face. The pseudopod on the left is looking at him. The ones on the right, they're like still turning, and they're about to make that turn. But the thing is, if you see those pseudopods on the right, they're arcing downwards, right? And
Yeah.
then you get to the cherubs at the bottom again, and your eye goes all the way back up. So it's like that constant flow, and like you just like it's like a spiral if you look at it, down up to Venom's face. You look at the tendrils on the side, pseudopods guide you on the right, and you go back up, and you get that kind of constant flow in the composition, which is pretty awesome.
Very true. Very true. I
Oh.
didn't see that.
No, something like I observed like before is like since the whole like I mean Venom is a dark character, and I don't. It might also be from the background of the you have this black background of the picture here. I think when you look at this picture the first time, I think your eyes, I think at least speak from, your eyes first go to the angel, not to Venom, because of the lighter color. I think first you would look at these lighter angels because they pop out more in this dark surrounding, and like you go first to the angel and then to Venom.
Yeah, but it's true what Buck said. It gives you the angel first, but then it immediately you go up
Sure, I'm not saying
and you focus to the head. Yeah,
yeah, it's true. It does. I mean, it's a
I
whole
can
flow.
understand that flow.
Because the way I'm looking at this is, it just seems like, I guess going to what Buck was saying, it feels as if like this is supposed to give you a sight of motion, you know, like because remember those are symbiotes. So is this like a live symbiote suited Venom where we're supposed to see all these things even though time has been suspended? If I'm making any sense.
Very true.
What do
You
you
are,
think,
yeah.
Cash? Like, I mean, Cash. I mean, I know you're already a big fan of the statue, but I mean, maybe over the past days, some things have changed.
No, I'm looking at this and I'm looking at Sideshow, right? But then I'm also looking at Sideshow's Carnage plus Sideshow Symbiote Spider-Man. I love their Carnage. I think they got the best Carnage on the market.
Sideshow.
I like their Symbiote Spider-Man. I think they got the best on the market. But I look at these angels on this right here, and the closest thing that I have to these angels is Iron Studios Daredevil, but then also Sideshow Symbiote Spider-Man, and it makes me be like, this base on here is terrific. Plus, I trust XM, right? I trust what XM is going to bring to the table. So I'm all in. I mean, you're getting 3 portraits, man. If you don't like this one's, you got the Eddie Brock transformation. If you don't like that, you got the what's the last one? Did they give a McFarlane portrait or no?
I called it the McFarlane portrait because it looks so similar to McFarlane's Venom.
There's a it's just
that one right there.
Yeah.
It looks like it could be McFarlane or Bagley, but like or a combination of both.
Yeah.
I think the McFarlane usually has a closed mouth, but
I think this is gonna be nice.
Sometimes we'll draw it with fangs, right?
I like the. I mean, I like this. I think for me, as you said, like I would call it McFarlane, but
And I just gotta shout out Cash again because I was about to push the button. I said, "Oh wait, hold on. Let me put on this Cash 10." I'm like, "Oh, I saved $10."
Oh, you pre-ordered it?
No, I was going to. But
Oh.
I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait till I go on Sable's channel.
Yeah.
And discuss it and get more of a because I feel like the community is 50-50 on this right now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And people are deciding like you do 8 chats and Cash what he was saying. He looks good, but is he gonna look good with your collection? The Daniel Bell Carnage, the Sideshow Symbiote. So you guys see what looks better in your collection because every collector has that OCD.
Yeah.
And maybe when you see it, that doesn't look good. Maybe I should have gone for this one. So, but 2, remember that if the statue speaks to you, if it's something you really want, in the end of the day, it's your money. You're buying it. And it's for you. Not for me, not for Saba, not for anybody, just you. So if you buy it for yourself and you feel happy and fulfilled, I think that's enough.
And you know what, Cash, you made a good point because I didn't even think about the symbiote Spider-Man matching up with those angels, and that makes sense because it's like it's so dark. You know what I mean? And you're right. that Daniel Bell Carnage is the best. I think that would be able to pair up with this XM Venom. You know, because it's
Yeah.
dark. It's a dark, sinister Venom, and I think I wasn't even thinking of it like that, but yeah, you know, I can see that.
This one.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
my big. Yeah.
I mean, it's a nice statue. Looks great. And here you have these like skull angels.
Yeah, look at it.
Skull.
You know,
That's a great statue.
I have question marks on both the Sideshow and XM version for Venom, but my mind tells me XM will do me right. They'll do my money right. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I gotta go with XM.
Yeah, I mean, as you know, like I agree with Kench there, uh, and as I was saying before, I think what the sideshow, I mean, the sideshow Venom, like for me, it's just missing that intricate, big storytelling base kind of, and here, like you have this. I mean, it's an interesting base, but it has it has these Easter eggs,
Let me.
but
This is a crazy thought. If these two Venoms were to go toe in toe, which one you think will win? Which one looks like more badass?
XM for sure.
I think XM.
XM for
Yeah,
sure.
XM.
XM for sure. I mean, as I said before, I think an interesting big base, I think, is already half the statue for me. Like it tells. I mean, it already makes up for a good statue for me. I mean, I'm speaking for myself, but I don't know how you guys feel about it.
I think this is gonna be a pretty big statue as well. It's gonna have a lot of good like space to it, but
You mean
I
the
mean, you are
sideshow?
getting Sideshow. You are getting the tendrils. You're just not getting
You don't.
symbiotes on it,
You're
right?
not getting that. I mean,
Yeah.
you're
That's
getting
true.
this. You're
That's
not
true.
getting those angels or so.
And that's my whole point, because like with those symbiotes right there, I feel like it's like it's pegged in to the skin. You know, I don't really see too much like a
In
symbiote that's
XM, it
alive.
looks alive. Yeah.
Yeah,
We're
XM
talking
looks
about
like
the
it's
sizes,
alive.
like you're talking about the sizes for the sideshow one, like both of them. Like I think here size wise, I mean height like this like 58 centimeters and depth width we have 50 and 47, and like, if I remember
So,
correctly, the I mean here we have the sorry like this the size on this statue is like way bigger. I mean we have 58 on the sideshow and we have 86 centimeters on this one. This is way bigger, like the height. That's mainly due to the huge base, I believe. I think because on the sideshow
yeah.
here, on the sideshow Venom here, like the feet are almost like on the ground level. They're very low. Like the base doesn't lift the character up so much.
See, I
Like the
like that because that's you know, in inches. I mean, you're talking with 6, 7, 8 inches. So like, I like the more height.
yeah, I like that too. I think that's one reason uh, the sideshow one doesn't do it for me. This
Oh,
small base is kind of is missing for me. I mean, it's just too small.
it
You just have the side. It looks like you just have the Venom standing there and is
yeah.
running at you, and that's the one reason.
10
The
inches actually. Excuse me, guys. 10 inches.
Pause.
Yeah,
So now
that's
like
like
that's
with that Martin Canali Venom. So now with that green ooze, like what is that supposed to symbolize? Because you see some highlights on his knee. So is this like a radioactive? Is this like, because I always think story based as well. So like is this like the symbiote escaping from Oscorp, or
Yep.
he's escaping from Oscorp?
sorry, just one
Okay.
second. Just let's just look at the comments for a second. Um, we have Rome the house. Sorry for the delay, but thanks for joining in. We have Luke again, Walt Chunky. They're both not good enough to warrant the purchase. Imo, okay. John Blackmon says saw it in person at CDCC. It's bigger than I thought. Okay, and I liked it. Not a fan of no neck Venom. Makes it look like a pinhead. Okay. Okay, like interesting comments there. Sorry, just continue. Sorry for the interruption.
And
You're
you can
talking
think
about
if
the base.
XM is worth that money compared to the money you can make for this one. You can pay for base or for character.
But I think as an investment too, I think uh, the the XM one is better. I think in the future, I think people will be coming back and looking more and or wanting the or in the aftermarket wanting the XM one more than the sideshow one, and also due to the edition size. I think the edition size plays a big role too because I mean XM is known for lower edition sizes. You have here only 699 pieces planned for the XM one, whereas I think the sideshow has it's not the sideshow. Okay, but I mean, as we know, sideshow is probably going to be in the thousands. I think probably.
It
Yeah,
depends. When is this supposed to release? Usually, when they don't say
dude.
the edition size quickly, it means it's gonna be low. But
The
even if it's high, I think usually the thing with sideshow pieces is they don't really go up in value
Yeah.
until they sell out, and then if there's demand for it in the aftermarket, even if the ES is high, the price can go up. But still, I don't think it's ever going to cost as much in the aftermarket as this Venom. What I think will happen is this Venom piece, I don't think too many people like it. There are people that like it and they're like really fond of it, but the amount of people who are really into it are not that much, which is why I think it's part of why they set the ES so low on this. Normally, Venom is a very popular character that should demand a higher ES, but I think they could read the room and tell like not that many people are too happy about this, and then this will probably maintain its current price. The retail price that you pay for it, that's the same amount you'll see in the aftermarket. I don't think it's gonna appreciate in price, but it might depreciate. What I do expect at the sideshow at least is that if you buy it on sideshow, after it sells out on the website, you'll be able to make a profit trying to sell it either on eBay or Facebook.
You're talking about the sideshow one or the XM one before?
Sideshow on in
Okay,
terms of ES.
okay. But I'm sure the edition size will definitely be higher than the XM one from the
Yep.
way I know X sideshow. Like,
It's possible, but if you look at what's it called, the Black Widow just released. How many is that? That's like 600 or 700.
which one?
Black Widow,
Black Widow.
and with that
Let's
one,
Black Widow.
yeah 600.
Which one was that? This one,
no,
The third one.
third
third.
one.
PF. Yep.
The ES isn't always large. It depends on the character and how many people are pre-ordering it at the time. Yeah, but what
This
we do know with sideshow pieces, it's like when they sell out completely, they'll always appreciate, almost always, unless a new version of the character comes out like later in the from sideshow. Right now, what I'm gauging from the market with and like the expectations of people, a lot of people are feeling like the older Venom by XM is better than the new one, and it seems like people are now going back trying to hunt that one, and
Yep.
that might have
This
caused the
one.
price in the no the old XM, and that might have caused
Oh,
the
XM. Sorry,
yeah,
XM.
and that
Okay.
might have cost the yeah. So the price for this in the aftermarket seems to have gone up again slightly. But I think eventually this the price too will come down. Right now, people are just like there's a temporary appreciation for the statue again because people saw the new one and they're like, oh no, I prefer this one to that. And so I've seen a lot of people like trying to sell theirs on Facebook, and like they're asking for more than I paid for this same statue when I got it, like I think in 2020 or 2021. So it's the kind of thing where it just depends on things like in the marketplace. I don't think the new XM Venom is gonna appreciate in price very few pieces appreciate in price from XM in terms of aftermarket. They will hold their value, that's for sure. But it's like the grills that will usually go exponentially high in price. People usually just want to get back the amount of money they paid for the piece and the shipping when they sell their XM pieces.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're not gonna go up in
But
price like
uh,
that.
Saber, go back to that Eddie Brock transformation on this one because look at this piece right here, right? You don't think the newer version looks a lot better than this one?
This image that's here is like their prototype. I prefer this face to the new XM Venom, right? But the new XM Venom's transformation portrait has a lot more motion going on in it, right?
Mhm.
It's like it's very dynamic in action, just in the way the teeth are like. You can imagine how the motion happened. It was like the symbiote was swirling around his face, and you can see the teeth are like like coming from below and arcing upwards, and are about to set into place on his face.
Mhm.
So you can see that that's pretty cool. They brought that theme of motion into this transformation portrait as well.
Yep.
But in terms of taste, I'm not too fan of this. The only portrait like I really like on the new Venom, is the McFarlane head.
Mm.
Like here, I think you can on the old one portrait you can see more of Eddie Brock because of the blonde hair, and you
Yeah,
don't see that. You don't see that on the new one. I think on the new one he's already totally possessed, and you can only see part of the faces. And but I don't know. Like for me, it's not a bad thing, but sometimes I think one thing that pops out on Eddie Brock is the uh, blonde hair or the yellow hair. Sometimes it's the way you can tell like it's him or so, and
the eyebrows are like black in that one. So
but on the old one they're also whited out. The eyes and
no,
so
his eyebrows
oh the eyebrows.
are
Uh,
black on the new one, or brown.
I think they're like more like a brown. I think when you look at it closely, it's more like a brown color. Maybe it might be from the lighting, but to me it looks like a brown color
Yeah,
on the new one. On
Yeah,
the,
but we know Eddie Brock is blonde because we've
yeah,
read the old comics. All the new guys that are collecting,
yeah,
their Eddie Brock is the guys in the movies. They don't read, so
yeah, yeah. I mean, but since I don't know, maybe since like, you don't see most of his head here, some people may not even realize it here on for the new portrait
yep.
because you don't even see his hair. You only thing you see is his eyebrows and his mouth and his eye. So maybe it might not play a huge role here.
I think this portrait is like the best one
Yep.
for me, in my
Yeah,
opinion. It's the best one.
yeah, I agree.
How would you guys, if you had the statue and you would display it immediately, would this be the portrait you'd use?
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
Anyone? No? Yeah. Okay, everyone agrees on this one.
no, I'd use the McFarlane kind of head. That one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Ferdinand head.
the other head, the third one.
Yeah, yeah. We got it here. This
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that one.
looks cool. Like looks nice too. Okay, and let's just look at the comments. Like we got Vibranium Jim. Super sub everyone. Nice for joining in. So anyone else already has this on cash? You already have this on PO or not? Or you're not decided yet?
No, I haven't PO'd it yet, but it's very close, man. I still gotta PO the thing from XM Sideshow Carnage. So it's like it's too much right now. So I'm trying to like take my time, but
Yeah,
I don't
there's
want
a
to
lot.
miss out on this one because this one's probably the lowest ES. So it's like don't really think there's a whole lot of them left. So gotta go pretty quick, man.
You can wait for the Carnage on
Oh yeah,
aftermarket.
Carnage for sure. Yeah, for sure.
And I talked with H before about like you saw the Venom from what's it like Legendary Beast. Like, have you seen that this one here? Well, if
I
you had
really
to choose
like this one.
beast, which one would you go for, the Legendary Beast or the say XM?
Legendary Beast.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like the way they've done Venom on this statue. Um, but I don't like the wall part behind him. But Jay said you can take that off and put it away, and you'll be able to plug up the holes. So that will make it like kind of almost perfect for me. Um, and I really like the physique on this one, and I like almost all the portraits on it.
And what about you, Cash?
No, I mean for me, XM. I mean this is cool, but I don't want to fall in that trap where it's like I'm just getting it because it's third scale because I feel like that's what a lot of people is doing just from comments. Oh, it's third scale, gotta have it, and it's like
Right.
third scales is cool, presence is really there, but again, just like Dennis says, you gotta collect what you like. At the end of the day, we the ones who have to shell out the money. We the ones who have to. It takes up our space and stuff, and if this is what you truly want, impressive by all means, very very impressive. But for me, I would get the XM over this.
What about you, Dennis? Do you like this one?
No, I won't. I won't. I mean, I will appreciate it from far, but at least this is my point of view. Everybody's thinking about. Let's talk about price wise. How much is it gonna be? Like 1.5, 1.6? The shipping?
Price wise, I don't know. I'm sure. I don't know exactly. The
It's
price.
gonna be like $2 to $3. So everybody's now going crazy, selling their collection, which they've loved all these years. Hard to get items, and they're gonna get one item, two item, and then what? They're gonna sit down and say, "Well, I sold all I had for that." That's the question. I mean, do you love it that much to sell all your previous collection? I don't think so. I mean, I think every statue has a merit, but it looks nice, and it will look nice in the other collectors. I will appreciate it there.
I just like I said to H before, like I'm not a big fan of like legendary beasts simply because they usually display they have this kind of museum pose on all their statues, and that's one thing that kind of disturbs me. I prefer this dynamic poses in statues, and the details are definitely cool. And with the rest of my collection, these kind of like all my statues have like their have more of this dynamic poses, and this would pair out much better with all the other statues I have, and it's 1/3 on top of that. But the scale for me is not a big issue. Like for me, anything quarter scale or higher is fine with me.
I agree.
Like I'm not a big fan of 6 scale or so. Like I or either quarter scale or third scale person.
And for me, like not everything has to be 1/3. For me, what's appropriate from Legendary Beast is that Hulk. You picture Hulk. Hulk is huge, so it makes sense that you would make him in that scale because I mean he would be one of the most. And then if you love the character, I mean I think it's only appropriate that you have a statue of that size. But Venom is one that you don't have. It doesn't have to be 1/3. You know, not at all.
Yep.
And do they already have it here? The
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, man. That's the one.
was it this one? It was this one.
There's a 3-pack on the left, on the right
This
side.
is the one here. I think honestly, this is. I'm not, as I said before, I'm not a big like LB fan, but when I saw this Hulk, I think this is the first one that kind of tempted me a little bit because a little bit. One big reason for me was the base. Like you had all these, you had that detailed base where, like talking about the, not shown here. I think they don't show that.
If you go back,
Go back to the Rage
go
one.
back, and there's
That one, yeah.
on the go down next row. Then
This one.
at the end, yeah, that
Oh,
one
yeah.
probably will have it, or it doesn't. I guess it does.
Yeah, there it
It's
is.
not painted. It's not like painted, but you can see the concept. Like,
Yep.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe just Google it and you'll find other pictures.
You know what's funny? If you see all the statues, they don't do grails anymore. Everything we just see is nice statues. They used to be grails. Right now, you don't see Thanos on Storm, old style Hulk. I mean, that Superman Hush that everybody's dying for. Nobody does grails because everybody jumps on the hype train. So as
Yeah,
soon as it comes, it's not going to be a grail. Remember, the price is going to be the one that you give it.
yeah.
So in the end, I don't know.
But
I agree, and that's some of the stuff that I bring up on my channel. That now it's like it's the hype that's making these companies capitalize off the hobby. You know, I mean, you're right. What is a grill? It's like not, you really have to have another sense to know what's going to be something that's going to be a grill a few years from now.
yeah, that's true. But I think like due to like there's so many big statues like out there nowadays, and just like Queen Studios, XM, Legendary Beasts, and Prime One, and the quality of the details, and I think it has become much better over the as it has before, and nowadays it's really difficult to say what's the hype. Like in, for example, if we go back a few years, you had Ghost Rider from XM Studios, and people say that was a grail. I think when you compare it at that time with other statues or Ghost Riders, it was a grail because I think the details looked so amazing on that one compared to other Ghost Riders that time, and the size and the base and everything going around it.
But then again, what Ghost Rider has really topped that one? I haven't seen any.
No, there hasn't been that to
Yeah,
know. I think the new XM Ghost Rider is a different version of Ghost Rider, but still, it's. I mean, if you want Ghost Rider on bike, I don't think anything has topped that XM Ghost Rider up to now.
no, not at all.
And right now, if
But
you see all those statues, what made them a grail is that they broke the schemes of things for the time. I mean, the Ghost Rider on horse, it's a better sculpt and it's much better than that Ghost Rider because I've seen both together, but everybody has it. So
uh,
it's not going to be grail.
But I think one issue problem here with when we're talking about Venom is, except for like character Venom, it's an overdone character. There's just so many Venom statues out there, and it's almost, and you have like whether they're like licensed pieces or custom pieces, like every week you have like a new Venom, and it's like almost it makes. I mean, for I think for collectors it makes it difficult to decide which one should I take. And you have to talk about the money too. You can't afford to buy every single Venom, and there are some decent pieces, and so and the quality is also so high, and it makes it really difficult for people to decide too what's the Grail Venom like in this case.
I know. Look at Mr. X. He has 22 Venoms. 22.
Wow.
Remember, you make
is
a
it?
grail as a personal grail, not as the statue. When the OG started, let's say H sets, when you started, it was Shy Show, Bowen, and custom. If you could find one custom, now everybody does a custom because everybody has a printed machine. So it's it's very accessible now.
Like
I'd
I
ask,
have,
is it
I
what
have.
makes it a grail, like the scarcity of the piece? Like,
No, it's okay. Like I have the Bowen Kingpin statue, right? Now that's like what a 1/6 scale statue, small piece,
1/6.
but yeah, 1/6. So it's a grail because it's like if you, I mean, you have to look at the, let's say, the XM version. This Kingpin captivates the character. He's standing over. He has a cane. He's standing over Daredevil, um, Mask, and Spider-Man, which you can switch it out.
Both. Yeah.
You know, so and you can't find that anymore. If you look for it, I mean, you're going to be spending a couple of bucks. But it was only that one, and maybe like the other Kingpin I can think about is the one that XM did. And I saw that one. I was like, nah. I mean, it's cool. He has the chess pieces and everything, but I don't see that character at all. So I guess that's where collectors who have been collecting for some time, you start to develop an eye and say, okay, I want that signature piece. I want a character where another the same thing can come out a few months, but I'm not going to care because I know what I have. Is considered to be a masterpiece grab.
And remember, now it's all
Yeah,
digital sculpt. In the old days, it used to be by hand,
yeah,
and it's more work, more artistry. It's not taking down digital. Digital is super cool, but I mean, it's a different process.
True.
I would take a handpiece scope any day over a digitized scope.
You think that digital skull is something bad?
No, no, because I just think that when you take something from polystone and create it from with your bare hands, that's hardcore.
Yeah, I mean, maybe like if for people who appreciate the work that's gone into it, hand sculpt is probably a more interesting one, and you can see how much work. I mean, think just for you thinking about it that there was so much work went into the piece. I mean, it's probably more difficult for. I mean,
It's
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 easier to appreciate
easier to
hand
do
sculpt.
finer detail digitally on smaller pieces. On
Yep.
a quarter scale piece, if you're trying to do fine detail, it's way easier to do it digitally because you can zoom in and you can do whatever you want, right? And there's things you can do digitally that is so much of a hassle to try and reproduce in like on a real scale thing. I could put like a very tiny cloth texture on top of something, whereas if I wanted to do that in real life, I need to find a fabric pattern that is scaled appropriately to if I wanted to put like a cloth pattern on like on a shirt in a digital world, right? I just need to reduce the scale of the pattern so that when it's on the shirt, it looks the actual pattern you're seeing is quarter scale on the quarter scale statue. In real life, you would if you take any shirt at all, that shirt with the pattern, that's 1 to 1. That's for a real person. And when you try to put that pattern on a statue that's smaller, it's going to look like a 1 to 1 scale pattern on a quarter scale piece. And then the smaller the piece gets, the more out of sync that pattern that you're trying to apply is going to look like on the smaller piece. And so, like, there's different things that you could do. Also, you get like it's easier to get cleaner sculpts out of digital. You know, a lot of traditional sculptors, or like a fair amount of like they've learned how to use digital as well, and they also use like
Traditional.
real traditional sculpt. I feel like traditional has its merits in that you get to feel the thing in your hands, and you can also it's like pushing it around in some ways. There's a lot of stuff you get for free with traditional in terms of just like the natural texture of the clay, you know, the way like just the marks your tools will naturally make on the surface. Whereas with digital, all that stuff you have to be extremely deliberate about it.
Yep.
With traditional and real life, you get so many things that happen just as part of the medium you're using. Are you using clay? Are you using Sculpey? Are you using what kind of tool are you using to make marks? Are you using a wooden tool? Are you using a metal tool? Maybe it's not even perfect on the surface. Maybe some chips are in the side of your tool, and when you make a mark, you make a special groove that just shows up there, and like you never meant for that to happen, but like it's just there because of the kind of materials you're using are not perfect, right? And then they have their own special properties. Whereas
And
with digital, you have to actively think what is a metal tool going across the
agreed.
surface going to look like, and you need to make the brush you're using like affect the surface of your sculpt, like as if it's that tool. Whereas in real life, I just pick up a fucking spoon or whatever. If I wanted to use a spoon to sculpt, I could, and like I can make marks. And because of the limitations of the tool in real life, I then lean into those limitations, and the way the tool is naturally going to help me be is actually naturally going to be used to sculpt. It's going to make me do something in a particular way that is unique to that spoon, and like maybe people haven't seen someone shape clay before with a spoon, or there's people that have made sculptures out of butter, right? You can't get fine detail with butter, right? Or you shouldn't be able to, but they will then like use those limitations of the butter to make something that looks really cool. So
But
traditional does have its benefits.
but Buck, that's from an artist's point, creating aspect, because if I were to purchase something, right? Because the other day this was shot, right? I've had the Sideshow Lobo for years, and to my surprise, I never noticed that on the gun there's imprints on that gun.
Like
So
fingerprints.
yeah, no, it's kind of like he has like a cross out in Roman numerals on the butt of the gun, and I've never noticed that. See, so certain things you're not going to pick up, whereas the artist has a depiction of what
Which statue we're talking about? Sorry, I missed
Lobo
that.
from Sideshow.
Oh,
The Lobo from Sideshow.
Yeah, the OG Lobo.
okay, let's see if we can pick that out.
Yeah. So, and this is what I mean. Like when it comes to traditional sculpting, right? I would say what would fit more of an artist, a genuine artist approach of sculpting would be maybe digitizing. It's just
Which
would be
one was
used
it?
to enhance a statue to get the fine details. But
Which logo was it? The maquette or the?
the maquette, OG
Okay,
set.
but that's old, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything you like most of the stuff you could, I want to say anything you can do with traditional, you can do it with digital, like any like fine even like making your marks as an artist on it, like expressing yourself in the way you want to express stuff. You can do it on digital. Even the stuff I was saying about the tools and stuff, like you can do it on digital. It's just that with digital you have to make the active choice to make it look like that, whereas you can let the
Intention.
material
Intention.
and the tools, right, to like there's that randomness of like what you're using to actually make the thing will guide you with in reality, versus when you get onto that digital surface, it's everything that needs to then become extremely intentional.
In traditional, there's
This
beauty
logo.
and
No,
imperfection.
not that one.
Not that one.
The older one with the gun up.
Sorry, where is that? This one.
It's
No,
not.
no, no.
No, that's it's not there.
That's,
It's an
not there.
archive piece.
You'd have to
Okay.
search on Google.
Okay.
I'm trying to see if I can find it. And this was crazy because I just happened to walk past it. I'm like, oh, I never even noticed this.
What was it, like Sideshow Lobo? Was it?
Yeah.
So
It's,
the one,
No,
the
the one
first
that
one,
he's standing, the one that he's standing.
This one right here. To
No.
on here.
yeah, that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Now you see the butt of the gun. I don't know if you can zoom in, if you can get a better picture.
on the
This-
wooden part,
Yeah.
the wooden
Yeah.
stock.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see if we can get a better one.
Oh, you could go to the sideshow listing for it.
Yeah.
On the right. No. On this same page, on the right side of the page, scroll up. See the one in white with the white background.
Yeah. Click on that one.
Click on that. Yeah, go to that page.
Yeah.
Yeah. And look at the pictures.
Oh,
It
these
only
are the
has
only
two
two pictures. Wow.
It only has 2 pictures or a year.
Maybe they
I don't know.
removed them.
But you can.
And
You
maybe,
can
but it only has like just 2 pictures like that. From what I don't know why, but it seems like it only had those 2 pictures. I mean, maybe that I don't know. It just has
You
these
kind
2.
of see.
you
can
see it
kinda
right
see
there.
it here.
Yeah. You
The
see it right
marks
there.
on the surface.
It is so like small and defined. It's like I guess I had like light on it, and I couldn't. I was like, oh, I never noticed this. Yeah, if you look closely, if you can enhance this picture, you'll see the imprints on the butt of the gun.
Zoom, enhance.
If you can somehow zoom it up,
I'll try to zoom in, but
yeah,
it doesn't zoom in more. Like I can try and zoom in the whole page, but I don't know. I'm sorry.
And that's a
I don't
great
know.
sculpt from
I don't.
Canada. That's a
I don't.
great
Didn't,
sculpt.
You probably need to find another image.
yeah.
yeah.
Maybe try.
Hey, Buck, you know both, or they give you classes on the history of traditional only?
Let me see if I can grab it.
At
Make
school,
things
we
easier.
started, and my entire first year was traditional.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
right.
and then I also
Because,
took art history classes.
I don't know. Let's see. We have X Catavid in the house. Thanks for joining in. Although I'm all venomed out, congrats to whoever gets the XM. Well, it's just a shame. Like, would have been nice. Well, we got Colex Petra's third scale. We see in pieces. Look great in person. Yeah. Why didn't LBS do a Red Hulk? Maybe they will still will. I don't know. Probably they're just not. They haven't released it yet. Who knows? I mean, they did a Grey Hulk, didn't they? So I didn't. So I think the Red Hulk probably will be coming soon too.
All right, so I don't know if you can see.
And
It's on the camera. You see how it has.
sorry, let's just.
Oh yeah,
Oh, look at
that's
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I just noticed that. The,
Sorry, I'm just trying
Really?
to look at a little bigger. And we have, yeah, okay, yeah, you can see that.
Would you say this is digitized, Buck?
no. I don't know. I think this was actually sculpted traditionally. It depends. I think it's done by Martin Canale, so you
Yep.
could check his art station to see
No, it's
if
traditional.
it's traditional, right?
Yeah.
Traditional?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he still puts his traditional stuff on ArtStation.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you'll see, he showed the process of the sculpt.
I think since
But
this is an older piece too, I think probably it would be hand sculpted. I think older.
yeah, but yeah, that's a pretty cool like detail on there. But like even that you could do it digitally, you know. It's but at the same time you can see that when someone really wants to take their time, they can put like some fine details, but they're just there's just some things that are way easier to do if you can do it digitally. If
I
you
was
were
I,
to
I always thought that digitizing was more for production wise because to traditionally sculpt massive amount of statue would take too much time. So I always thought because production, that's why statues are digitally imprinted for production.
it's
It's both.
it's
Because
an
it's a
easier
little printed
process.
for them to do it in the in the company, but the first prototype sculpt either is traditional or a mix of both, and then it goes digital to be printed up faster and painted.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, you could for like
I think
the way customs are made, they could just send the file to some company somewhere to print the thing.
Yep.
There's a lot of flexibility you get with digital that like makes it, I would say, just as for this medium, for like the production medium of like mass producing statues, it makes it like better. The good thing about traditional sculpts is that there's an original, right? Like there is that original piece that everything is made of in clay. And if you feel like you can keep, like, if the oil clay is hard enough for you to keep in your room as a statue, honestly, if you wanted. I don't know what they do to those original like pieces they make the castings from, but if you felt like it, you could honestly keep that. But even depending on the way they do the production, the final product might not be entirely made out of oil clay. Um, some parts will be casted to make sure they don't mess it up as they're
Yep.
doing, or maybe they'll use marbles for the eyes when they're
Yep.
like sculpting that. But that original piece, you can have it. There's some artists that when they finish a piece, they'll just keep the oil clay like on their shelf, and it's stable enough. It's not going to melt unless things get like really hot. But yeah, you just keep it on your shelf, and if it got hot in your room, you could carry the clay and put it inside the fridge. And when the temperature is better, you could go put it back
Yeah.
outside.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks.
Some people even paint over
I think
the
you're
oil
gonna need
clay.
a pretty big fridge, though. I don't know. You got an empty fridge
That's
or
what this
empty.
company Wicked does. They sell you the digital scan so you can print it and paint like they got some nice stuff.
Yeah, they sell like STLs,
Yeah.
so the 3D print files for on Patreon. You can subscribe to them. But those places, I try not to. It's very easy to run into piracy when you start dealing with
Yep.
like 3D print people selling 3D print files.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, in the
I think
beginning, I got caught up buying something off eBay, and I don't know. I was like, "What the hell is this?"
Like
You know.
that, like
and
the
I've never used eBay. Like I've always tried to keep my hands
Oh
off that.
man, I had no idea. I thought it was the actual statue, and it came from China, and I couldn't believe what I saw. you know,
Yeah.
buyer
Yeah.
mistakes in the beginning.
Ed Cardavid asks like Sabassembler, what do you think about the XM Samurai Red Hood? You getting one? Honestly, I think that was for me personally, I think that was the first samurai piece from XM. I wasn't I didn't like at all when I saw it first. It's one of those statues I think where let's just add it back to the stream. I think like I personally didn't like it. I thought it was missing that um, dynamic feel like you had with all the previous dynamic XM samurai characters.
what about the
Uh,
poison ivy behind you?
I love the poison ivy. For me, it's one of
It's
the
not dynamic, right?
it's what makes it dynamic. I think are the flowers and those poison ivy itself is not dynamic, but those also those fly traps around it, they
Around
just
there,
go around,
yeah,
and that gives it those give it the dynamic feel. I think in the
yeah.
background, that's that's the difference there. As I said, like she herself is not dynamic, but that's where I was saying like before a good like kind of it's part of the base or the character. Like it changes the whole feel of the statue again. I think. And what was the red hood? Was in that we're talking about?
I thought you would like this piece. I love it. I
Red
got this
hood,
for like
like I love the whole samurai XM samurai line. I love that, and I have up to now like all the pieces.
mhm.
I was like deciding to get them, and uh, this I was hoping for a more like I said, like just like a dynamic pose. Here he's just like walking down the road or so, or temple. Maybe he's just like after he's done the fight, and he's just like
Is
on his way
there
back.
a way to see his
It's so badass though.
the
I mean, it's
cloth
just,
behind him? To see it flapping? I want to see the way that's
Yeah,
sculpted.
there's a different pictures. The details on the statue are definitely typical. Like you can see that dragon here in the back. They're
Yeah.
insane. It's detail. The paint job is amazing on this piece. No question about it.
I figured
Like you're,
if you
you're
missed the
talking about.
samurai line, this would be a good if you can get your hands on one of these, this would be a good piece to
I'm
get if you missed the whole line.
I'm still undecided. Maybe I might still get it. Like just not maybe not because I'm a big fan of the statue, but to complete the line maybe.
I love this pose right here. Oh man,
I love this too. I love this
Woo.
portrait somehow. I love this traditional. I love this portrait for some reason. I don't know why, but somehow it does it for me. I usually try to use the classical portraits on most of my statues when I display it, but somehow I really liked this portrait here.
Yeah, it's hard, man.
It really you get somehow it's like Joker, like you have this kind of Joker smile in it, and um,
It's hardcore.
it has this evil look on his face, and whereas you have this classical like Red Hood look here. Uh,
I wish there
um,
was like a helmet
maybe I might
that
get it. I'm
was
still
mostly
upset.
smooth.
Sorry.
So I wish there was a helmet that was mostly smooth, like a normal Red Hood helmet.
Okay.
I think the Tengu mask is possibly my favorite. This one, but I wish this one is like my favorite.
Yeah.
Then I wish the next one with just that looks closest to the traditional Red Hood mask. I wish it didn't have all the like panel lines and like
Yeah, but when you go
embedded.
back to, like when you go back to the all the other like the whole samurai line, like their classical bodysuits and everything, you have this classical like what's it this futuristic mechanical suit look, and I think what they were trying to do here is kind of to adjust the class, kind of to fuse the classical look with the new futuristic mechanical
You're
bodysuit.
right. I think that's what they're trying to do. I just wish there was a bit less, a lot less detail on the helmet, and kept it a bit like true to the like a closer to the original Red Hood head. So you'd have one that's like really close to the way Red Hood normally looks, and then you can have all the like ones with crazy variations. Because I do like I said, my favorite one is the Tengu mask. But otherwise, it's just a slight one. I wasn't gonna buy this anyways.
Did any one of you order this? Or?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I figured, I missed the whole samurai line, and when I first saw it, me being picky, I was like, I didn't think I was going to love it until I saw it in person. So I started seeing them in person. So I'm not
Okay.
going to go back and buy, anything on the aftermarket. So I figured, look, I love the Red Hood. This is just my piece of the samurai series. So
Yeah.
I'm
I
okay
mean,
with that.
I love the whole samurai. I mean, I'm a huge Batman fan, and like that when I saw that samurai line, it was there was no question for me. I went with the whole line, and I love all the Batman characters. And I think the good thing with the samurai line for most characters is, or for a lot of them, you get a choice, like you get the option to display them with a relatively classical look too. You don't necessarily have to kind of display them like with the like some characters, maybe like Poison Ivy here, like she's already wearing that kind of traditional Japanese kind of clothing piece, and you can't really go back to make it look classical. But for example, with the Batman, you kind of get the choice to display him more like to have him look like a classical Batman, and I
You,
think that's one good thing with the samurai line. And but for me, I'm not unhappy with the samurai line. I think the only statue I think that doesn't fit into the line is the Catwoman. The Catwoman. I'm not saying it's a bad statue, but it doesn't fit into the line. I don't know if you remember. It's the one where she's like sitting on the bike.
yeah, yeah. Kind of throws it. It's more like how to,
It's
it's like more modern in some sense. It doesn't give like a classical samurai feel.
it's a good it's a good Catwoman statue, but it just doesn't fuse with the line. Like that's the issue with the. Let's
Looks
see if we can.
kind of cyberpunk. Yeah.
Let's just see. XM. Or like here, you ever here?
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying.
See, I mean, it looks more like a pure, like a regular classical Catwoman. I think to me, it doesn't. It doesn't go. It doesn't look like a. It doesn't. You don't get that
Yep.
samurai or Japanese feel.
I mean, you're getting the Japanese feel, but like she's not like heavily armored. Which is like her normal suit in normal stuff is a cat suit. So I think that's why they didn't make her heavily armored.
I think it's because it's not ancient. Most of this samurai line is kind of like based off ancient samurai.
More
But even
traditional. Yeah.
There's
even
like
the
a
thing is,
sci-fi. There's a heavily sci-fi like theme to everything. It's like
like
that's why you got all the typical sci-fi design language with the paneling and the, embedded details and all that stuff all over the suits. There's a lot of like sci-fi elements. It's not even. I would say I'd go so far as not to say that it's not ancient at all. It's when it comes to the characters themselves. The only parts that look old on these statues are the areas they're in, where they got like the traditional environment around them. But in terms of the design, it's not ancient at all. It's like very futuristic sci-fi, but with like the elements of like the Japanese samurai theme and stuff like that on there.
but here one problem is like the base. Like on when you look at all the other bases, you get that historical base look. Here you have this kind of modern base street look, like as if it's just going down the road and with the street markings, and that it just looks too modern. I would say, like to make
When
it
when you compare it with the others, yeah, it looks almost out of place.
like
Yeah, because it's
especially this.
like you have you kind of like you said, you have a futuristic culture, which is kind of based on ancient samurai. You know, it's like three in one, and now you have her on a bike, and you pair her up with the rest of the line, and it totally falls out of place. Like what they could have easily put her on like a dragon or something. I don't
No,
know.
I would have said I don't think I feel like the motorcycle and her are all right. To make it work better with the rest of the pieces, like would probably have they would have had to done a different base. But in terms of
Yeah,
how she looks, it works for me. But I would also say that the parts where they wanted to really add the futuristic elements with her, it wasn't on her suit. They made it the bike, right?
yeah,
Because they wanted to also keep that sleek look on her body that she
I
has normally.
I agree, and I think always like I think when I look at the whole concept of this Catwoman, I have the feeling it's sometimes inspired by the Dark Knight Catwoman. Like it looks similar to that somehow. When you look at from the Dark Knight movies, the Catwoman, what was the name of of the actress? I don't remember.
Anne
Like
Hathaway.
Hmm.
could be, yeah,
But
and somehow like the style looks similar to that.
honestly, I agree with H Stats. Like she will look out of place with the others, but I think it has less to do with her and the motorcycle, and it's very much the base.
I agree
Like
with
I don't.
that. I totally agree with that. It's the base. The issue is the base. Yeah. So I think I think we all had a great show today, and coming back to the Venom, I think we had a great discussion today about the Venom, and just as a quick uh, wrap up, like who in this like how many here are still considering to buy this Venom here? One? Anyone else? Cash?
If one's still available, I'll most likely bring it home.
Okay, so okay,
Yeah.
well, still available. Okay, okay, three. I think I would be getting that, and Buck, I think you're probably out,
No,
aren't you?
no, I don't like it, but I can see the appeal.
If
Just
yeah, I'm sorry, Buck. If I don't get it, it's because I'm just worried about what XM is coming out next. You know, that Galactus. I don't want to miss that. So
There's just so much
it's
like
so
There's
today.
always gonna be something better.
yeah.
Did you see those pictures of the new Maestro today? Like XM posted.
Oh man, that was not right. I saw that. That wasn't right. You know, it's not coming here, but it's just damn. You know,
Yeah, I mean, there's just so many new statues coming out, and but for me, Venom was a character I had to have in my collection. So that's one big reason for me to. It's not because it's XM, but to have a Venom statue was a big thing for me, and that's one reason for me. I PO'd the statue. And Dennis, for you?
No, but I mean, what you just said, it's the feeling that a true collector has to have. I have to have it. I want it. It will look good. So, kudos, man.
Yeah. Okay. But generally speaking, like, I think it's a great statue, but I mean, that's why I brought up this discussion to listen to everyone else's ideas about the statue. I love. Something I said before, like you bring in different concepts, you see things you might not have seen yourself before, someone else saw, and that's why I appreciate everyone joining in today. And I love today's discussion, and I just want to say thank you again. And if also again, like who we have here, Ed Cadvid, the Portraits of Fire. We think we're talking about the Red Hood then, and yeah, that Catwoman to me screams fast, future, furious. Okay, but so just going back again, just thanks again. And if you're new to my channel, please don't forget the like button. And thanks again to H Stats. Please check out his channel, H Stats Collectibles, and subscribe there. And same with Dennis Paris and also H Stats, Cash the Gemini. Please check out their channels. Thanks again for you guys being here. I appreciate that. And we'll see you next time. And wish you all the best. God bless you. God bless our statues. And have a nice day.